Good morning, Fabio here, and welcome to this daily market update. EURUSD has continued to push up higher from that daily area of demand in line with both the daily swing and fractal structure. And in addition to that, also daily demand. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, you should have been able to capitalize on this. Despite me being cautious, there was a very nice opportunity here on euro dollar with the overall daily imbalance pushing the market up higher. As we can clearly see, these two daily imbalance candles is where the market retraced in towards. And furthermore, the fractal low was positioned over here with the fractal high being positioned over here. Now, if you were to draw in the overall Fibonacci retracement tool here on the daily fractal structure, you can clearly see that the overall market retraced into discount and from there has pushed up higher from that area of daily demand. So a lot of confluences across the board overall for that further upside, as one, the overall daily swing is bullish, then number two, the overall daily fractal is bullish, then number three, we have that daily demand zone. And then number four is going down into the 4-hour time frame, and then understanding here that the market took out these equal lows as I highlighted yesterday, and then came through with the overall 4-hour fractal break in towards the upside over here. This was the first 4-hour break, and then as you can see from yesterday's video, I mentioned this area of 4-hour demand that should push the market up higher, as it beautifully did. And then if you want like a higher probability overall setup, then obviously you can look at the 1-hour time frame, where here you have the 1-hour change of character and then another change of character for the overall confirmation, with the overall order flow holding beautifully and pushing the market up higher. So some very nice price action overall there from EURUSD, and for now EURUSD remains bullish. I mean, we've seen a double 4-hour fractal break in towards the upside. We've grabbed 4-hour liquidity. The overall 4-hour swing is bullish from this low in towards this high, so it only makes sense to keep looking for that potential longs in line with grabbing liquidity above all of these descending highs over here. So additionally, there has not yet been a trade deal with Europe, or let's say between Europe and the United States, and that is currently causing the euro to gain some strength against the dollar, and that is pushing the dollar down lower. But for now, again guys, overall all I can say, 4-hour fractal is bullish, 4-hour swing is bullish, daily swing is bullish, and daily fractal is bullish, and the weekly as well. You'll really like what I'm seeing over there. The weekly is also positioned inside demand. So not a lot of confluences for shorts, as you can see, and overall still looking for those longs on the lower time frame, being for example the 1-hour or whatsoever. Now, preferably in these kind of situations, what you ideally want to see is like the 1-hour grab some liquidity underneath this demand zone, because there's no liquidity in the overall push up, grabs that and then start looking for some continuation plays again after you see some bullish confirmation in the form, for example, of a double fractal break. So that's EURUSD going into the dollar index. The dollar index itself here pushed down lower and lower. Overall, we've kind of had a ping pong play. That's like how I want to call it at the moment, because what you can kind of see is that the overall objective has been fulfilled here for the dollar. That Newsweek and the Newsweek high, it's pretty much just a very simple range play where you take out this overall high and you take out this overall low, and now the market has kind of like taken out both sides of liquidity. So on one side the buy side and on one side the sell side liquidity, and now we're going to start seeing the real direction of the market, and it's going to really start showing its hand. So let's see, for myself, kind of like the higher conviction plays for EURUSD longs, for example, will come once the daily fractal breaks here on the dollar index. Then I'll be looking to get in on that pullback. Until then, I'm still remaining a bit cautious, but mainly focusing on what I can see from EURUSD. And that for now is that the momentum is simply in towards downside. This 4-hour supply zone pushed the market down lower. This is now your 4-hour supply zone. So just follow the overall 4-hour order flow. And then if the 4-hour order flow breaks, so that high breaks, then you have to keep in account that we could start taking out those highs again, okay? But until then, follow the order flow down lower. Just keep in mind that the only kind of like negative point of confluence is that the daily fractal is still bullish. Now, moving into AUDUSD, we can see that AUDUSD has stalled inside this daily supply zone over here, this buy before the sell on the daily, in line with the daily bearish fractal structure. So still looking for further shorts here on AU. That is pretty much the trade that makes sense for now. Overall, we did grab the 4-hour swing high, or internal high, excuse me. So not the cleanest of price action here for AUDUSD, still very choppy and consolidative, so not really a pair that I want to spend too much time on. What you can, for example, see here on the dailies that we tapped into daily demand. So there's a little bit of contradiction here on AUDUSD, where I do like this area of daily demand and the overall movement is still in towards the upside, but that on, for example, the 4-hour time frame, I like what I'm seeing here with the overall shift in towards the downside, and this supply zone potentially pushing it down lower. But again, AUDUSD is not really a pair that I want to trade. Let me know what you guys' view is on AUDUSD. For me, it is still so unclear what is going on here on AU, and so choppy, so not really an ideal pair to trade. But all I can say is follow the daily fractal structure. We're inside daily supply, so then kind of like look for alignment in regards to setups for that daily time frame. That's always what I do when the lower time frame is just too messy. Just go up the time frame until it becomes a little bit more clear. Now in AU, not a single time frame is very clear, except for the fact that we have daily bearish fractal structure and that we are situated inside daily supply. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU itself has retraced up higher again, as we have been expecting. Obviously, after grabbing the liquidity underneath the overall 4-hour swing low, which we have positioned over here, we got the 4-hour change of character bullish in towards the highs. Yesterday, we saw another 4-hour change of character. This is now pretty much your area of demand, so look for continuation plays in towards that daily area of supply. Before then looking for potential nice shorts, which could act as a nice hedge against EURUSD. So I'll be keeping an eye on that as long as the 4-hour remains fractal bullish. It is kind of like a little bit counter trend to look for those longs still, but it is still set that we could see. It's kind of like what you're seeing now in GU is kind of like what I'm looking for on EU. Like this is a demand zone, but there's no liquidity. So what happens, you just take out the low itself, and now you kind of like want to see some bullish confirmation, and then this is kind of like the long that you then want to take here after liquidating this little bump in the road. So that's what I'm looking for on GBPUSD. Once we see some bullish confirmation, then I'll look for some longs. Otherwise, I'll just personally stay out because for shorts, I really want to see a little bit of a drive higher still. And then we can move on into NZDUSD. So NZDUSD itself still very weak, not looking for longs just yet. The New Zealand dollar is still relatively weak, so staying out of this for now. We can see that demand still here is in control. The overall 4-hour fractal still bullish, maybe a short-term long if we take out this low, but nothing too high probability for myself. But yeah, I would say you could look for a long if we take out this internal low, and then on the lower time frame, for example, being the 1 hour, we could then look for some bullish confirmation in the form of that change of character once that low gets taken out. Going into dollar Swiss, dollar yen, and gold. Dollar Swiss pushed down lower, pretty much as expected. As we can see, the overall daily fractal structure remains bearish here with this daily imbalance candle pushing the market down lower. Daily fractal as well still bearish, and the overall momentum, of course, also still bearish. So those 4-hour shorts played out relatively nicely. I still think there is still some downside potential. Let's see if we can get any kind of like shorts within this 4-hour supply zone. Shift to the 1 hour and then look for those potential shorts. Dollar yen, we can see that it is retracing after yesterday's strong impulse down. I'll be looking for some more shorts from this 4-hour supply zone in towards the downside. And then of course our baby gold. Gold has been moving beautifully in towards the upside. If you watched the title of yesterday's video, it was literally gold to 3,400. Well, you can see it tapped it to absolute perfection. Now, the daily fractal structure has again changed, guys, because we are just following the daily fractals up higher. And as long as the daily fractals remain respected, longs are still on the table. So, I guess who laughs last laughs the best, because I got a lot of hate, remember, guys, for those gold long bias. Overall, daily fractal remains bullish. Overall, we had here the swing up. Then we had the overall corrective phase here. Then we had, again, the impulsive phase over here. Then the market came back down to grab liquidity underneath this low, tap this area of demand, and then give us the V-shape reversal up. Daily change of character, daily change of character, daily change of character. This is daily demand. So look for those longs inside that daily demand zone. And in line with the daily fractal, I'll be looking for some, let's say, short-term downside to look for those longs. I just want to see a connection made with the overall daily demand zone, so then look for further longs here on gold. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak soon.